What's up, my peoples? How's everybody doing tonight? Well, it's around 11 p.m. here in the Portland area. Welcome to Carpo After Dark. Haven't done one of these in a while, and for anybody who's newer to my channel, I used to do these every month or two. Whenever randomly out of the blue, I would walk outside and make a video. And being in the dark lends a certain mysterious aspect to my own mind, not for the sake of the video. There's a couple aspects of it. One, I can think about what I'm saying and I don't have to keep my eyes open or be focused on the camera, but I can just think and it puts me more in my element. And so anyhow, tonight's video I wanted to talk about something. I kind of came up with the term I coined a term to describe where I was heading with this, and this term I'm using for the video is Anima Stasis. Anima Stasis would be finding equilibrium within the soul. First off, I want to break it down into the two words. Anima, it means the soul, but it also means the breath in Latin. The breath and the soul kind of being one and the same in certain regards, but being alive, having a soul, is defined by breath. So anima, when you add the L, animals, animal, that's of course where we get that word, and it just means a creature that breathes. But anima is the breath or the soul. Now stasis, you may have heard of homeostasis, homeo meaning human. So homeostasis is finding equilibrium within the body, the biological functioning of the body. And also there's many different forms of stasis, but the one I'm looking for is animastasis. And that really is finding that equilibrium in the soul that we all face every single day when we're trying to, and I'm not talking a religious soul here, I'm not talking about some disembodied spirit or anything mystical other than, maybe you could call it spirit or human nature. However you define it, being human is a very complex endeavor with many different emotional hassles and turmoils, and the good and the bad, and we have ups and downs. Sometimes we feel very emotionally weak, and sometimes we feel strong. Some nights, some mornings, we just wake up and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this," and then other days when it's like, "Let's do this." And it's something I mention often, the idea that we really all are just human, and that everybody faces those same things. And the reason I always say that is because I want everybody to realize that, it's only because I've seen how people have an image of others as if, oh, you must be so happy. I've had people who tell me, oh, you must be so such a happy person. How do you stay happy all the time? I'm like, bullshit. Let me tell you the truth a little bit here. I'm striving for equilibrium, just like everyone else. And so animastasis is the closest I can come to defining that feeling of, quite literally, balancing life in every single way. And I don't think that it's really, there's a couple different ways to do it. Number one, you just resign yourself to the fact that life is complex and that you will be shifting and changing as you go, and be open to that. The other way is to close yourself off to change completely, in which you become an immobile rock, which can deflect a lot of weathering, but really doesn't go anywhere. And that's the way I feel. If we really want to have any type of worthwhile progress in our lives, I feel like we have to really take initiative to do something beyond just resisting and covering our heads and saying, oh well, I'm not going to have the world beat me up. You have to have some preemptive strikes on life, if you will. Pardon me, I just had to consume a little something there. Yeah, finding peace in life, it required for me many different phases, many different paths, and down some dead ends, and around some corners, and over some blind hills. And the thing that I've learned that really keeps me in balance and check is to remember that there are bigger problems than anything we think is a problem right now. In other words, you might stress about your bills or a family member or a sickness or whatnot, and in the end we realize, well, if that stress isn't helping you change it, then you just got to say, oh well, this is life, this is what it is. But second, when you learn to see things half full, the cup half full, more than that, you know, really understanding that you don't have to delude yourself into saying everything happens for a reason, because I hear that a lot. And as much as I'd love to believe that, I'd say maybe it does, but that doesn't help us understand it or cope with it. What I like to say is that if something happens, regardless of the reason, we can gain a lesson from it and benefit from that. And that means that the next time we encounter something like that, we don't have to allow it to break us, if you will. So, my only real... I want to see people do well in life. And that is defined in so many different ways. But something in my heart just... it sings when I hear a story from somebody that's doing well and has said that they, just changed. Maybe they got clean and sober. Or, maybe they were shooting heroin for years, and then all of a sudden they decided to come clean, and they changed and turned their life around. Or perhaps it's somebody who said they used to be even angry and violent, and they learned to be more peaceful. That's one you don't hear very often, but it happens quite a bit. And I've had discussions with people who said that they were angry, and then they learned to understand themselves. And I don't want to take for granted the lessons I've learned in life, because they come and go, and we don't often know what the most valuable lessons we can get are. But in retrospect, when you look back on them, you can say, oh my gosh, that was a really useful thing. I want to share that with other people. And so that's really why I make videos like this, and why homeostasis in particular, and anima stasis, if you will, is something that I think that everybody should strive for. Because if I'm feeling well, then I'm going to be nicer to other people, and they're going to in turn be feeling better. And this goes on down the line, everything is passed down and recycled through the communities. So thanks for watching, or rather listening, I guess in this case. I'm going to end this video now. Try to making them a little bit shorter now, because some of them go on and on. So thanks again for everybody. Thanks for all my subscribers, and thank you to my Patreon patrons. Anyone who wants to donate, it's in the description. Somebody mentioned earlier to remind people to hit the bell icon, I guess. I tell people to subscribe, but I don't really mention it much. I forget that people come and go and don't really know much about the bell thing, because I sure as hell don't. I don't know if that gives how that really works even. It's funny, I've been using YouTube for years and I don't even understand the whole platform, but it's alright, man. Just making videos, talking about shit. 9 minutes. That's not too bad. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and thanks again. Talk to you soon.